Okay, fine, come here.
Okay, but I'll just stay quiet, all right? And non-judgmental. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. You've caught me in rare form. I don't know what has come over me, but I have decided to illustrate a self-portrait of myself digitally. I don't know what's going on with me. But here I am on my iPad, doodling away. Yeah, it's been a really long time. But there it is. It's cute. These headphones have been life-changing. And I'm really excited because Sherry LaPena dropped a new book this fall. And I'm a big fan. I've read her whole catalog pretty much. So while I set that up, I have an inspiration picture, and I really want to get it into my little new sketchbook and add some color. I've been working with a lot of color, a lot of like primary color use, a lot of yellow, which is completely out of my comfort zone. But I guess tarot had kind of prepped me for dealing with all the yellow. Holy double chin, but we do love this page and how it's coming together. Let's switch the angle. I'm making you a little uncomfortable there. Okay, so I have been in a cultural deep dive. Cultural heritage, all of it. My summer project, which I thought was going to, well, it did. It just sent me a little further back than I thought. I thought I was just getting to know, like, the land around me and, like, you know, the genius loci around where I live. And while I did do that during the summer, I also started feeling this call to more, to maybe, you know, call it the state of the world, social, political, the whole climate, but also there's a growth personally, you know, that I'm experiencing. You know, not to be TMI, but I feel like I've come out of a hole, a darkness that had surrounded the girls and I for about 3 years, and now we, you know, we're stable, we're a lot more confident, we have a great team assembled around us. We're pretty fearless. We've done a lot of things on our own. So anyways, there, you know, part of self-care, part of loving yourself is also making sure that you're loving all of you, all parts of you. And there has been a big disconnect for me as a first generation, you know, daughter of immigrants, granddaughter of immigrants. There was a lot of expectation. There was a lot of, and none of this is specific to me. This is the culture of first generations. There's a burden kind of placed on us. There's an expectation that we had to do, you know, better because there had been sacrifices made for us. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot, and then it's also culturally shocking when you're being raised one way, and then you go into the world and you see it happening a different way. I live in, you know, in a not very culturally diverse area, so, you know, that also puts it puts pressures, and then it also just puts perspectives. And I've been lucky to have both. So all of this is kind of culminating right now in this, I don't know, call to the motherland, you know, music drew me in. Songs, an album that I experienced 30 years ago, apparently, is celebrating that anniversary. And it took me back, it took me back. And what a better way to ride nostalgia and learn history and, explore color and feelings. I'm going through a really pretty beautiful moment, like life, perspective kind of thing. And I get to do it as a mom, of teens. So I think that they're at an age where they're appreciating it a lot more, and we get to learn together. And I'm not too proud to tell them, it's been hard. It's been awkward. It's been hard. I have felt this need to break a lot of traditions. And now, the irony is, I'm looking for those traditions that don't necessarily have to do with my family, that would have to do more within culture and heritage, in order to make a much more abundant and well-rounded legacy. I love that. That thought just came together in my head. It's taken me a while to learn that my culture and my heritage do not have to depend on family ties, family bonds, but also because it's the duality of life. I am raising children and I am sharing this experience with them at this time. So it's a lot. It's all the things. It's, like I said, it's a beautiful moment. And I'm really, really lucky. I get to explore it with color. I don't know if these markers even knew, what was in store for them. But I really, really love that intuitively I gave myself this gift, and that it has allowed me to explore, this this thing and all the things, however I want. So the Guambiano Indigenous Peoples from the Amazon, which Colombia shares, with other South American countries. Those peoples, they have so much magic, tradition. I wish people would just leave them alone. But also, I'm extremely grateful that we have access to that history, because they are living history. So, when I came across this picture, she was just so beautiful. I also, through this exploration in this sketchbook, when I was drawing the precolombinos, the statues made out of gold, I realized that a lot of the features that I have struggled to I don't know, drawing portraits, I've noticed that I draw a lot of people who are not my own. And then when I started drawing the precolombinos, something sparked within me, and there was an ease in features. There was a natural flow. How do I explain this? Words are hard. I didn't have to try so hard. You know what I mean? Maybe that's because I've I trust my process. I trust my style, and I'm not, trying for perfection, but also they felt familiar in a way that makes me emotional. And I'm premenopausal or whatever, so we get emotional, we cry it out, we shed some tears, it happens. Plus, this is all pretty heavy. This is all pretty big. I'm exploring this as a 40-year-old something, mom. But also, there are times where I'm just like, it takes me back. It takes me back to an emotional time. But I continue to say how grateful I am for the experience. To feel the feelings and to play with color, to get to do what I do, to get to express it. Yeah. I've been, if I think about it, I feel like I've been searching for this color, for this, like I've been setting myself up for this, right? I couldn't be here had I skipped all the steps. Let's work our way through this knot in my throat here. Breathe it out. Yeah. Anyways, I love myself for my intuition, for allowing myself to play, for even if I got here late, I'm just glad to be here. I tell my kids how lucky they are all the time, because I'm just like, I'm saving you like years, decades of self-exploration and one or the other. And it is really a testament to, I think, my love for them and my wanting them to be as well-rounded and as loved and embraced, that I would seek out as many communities for them to be a part of. And we've always been, I've always been the kind of person to celebrate every holiday. So, we celebrate all of our holidays, and then, everybody else's. And I don't have to really go into any of that, because if you've watched my planner flips or you've seen the decorations around my house, I really do consider myself a citizen of, I had considered myself a citizen of the world. Because if you lead with love, kindness, and respect, then you trust that the world will handle you with care. Or my hope is that the world will catch up to that. Individuals, no. It's just harder to get the whole band to go along with it. But it starts at home. And so I have completely lost the reins on this voiceover, but I am proud. I'm happy. It's a good time. Definitely seeing the light at the end of a long 3-year, is it 3-year? Yeah, 3-year tunnel. Feeling stable and grateful, ready to take on this entirely new part of myself that I had been pushing you know, it wasn't its time. Other things, you know, took priority. What else can we talk about? We can talk about these markers. We can talk about how fun they are, and how I would totally get more colors. I am wondering how long they'll last. Mostly because I have a tendency to art small, which means that my materials tend to last a long time. Watercolor, color pencils. The only thing that I replace, like a couple a year maybe, are the tombos. That's just the nature of a water-based marker. If there was one thing about the markers that I could just briefly, you know, complain about, it's the fact that they don't have the colors on the body, you know. And a lot of the yellows and one of the greens looks like a yellow. I don't have like a solid like pink. I have more of like a, I don't know, more of like a peach skin tone. Not really a pink. Anyways, yeah, I, you know, I know they gave us like the number stickers to go along with the color key, but that never even happened. But other than that, I really enjoy these markers. I really enjoy how they play along with other materials. I was nervous that because they're so opaque, I wouldn't be able to see my lines. Because they're, you know, I like seeing the road map. The rainbow pencil, or if I choose the Mitsubishi pencil, like those lines are part of it. So I was nervous, like how much am I going to be able to see, or, you know, for my own, whatever. It all works so great, you know, and layering is something that I'm now trying for. I know a lot of artists are constantly looking for texture. I don't look for texture. I prefer the bloom of the watercolor, the bloom of like an unexpected intermingling of colors. I think that's also, actually no, I'm not going to say anything because later on we do have some cool watercolor moments. Why I've decided to just use a water brush with this journal, I don't know. Like my other watercolor brushes are staring at me going like, why do you hate us? But it's just become like a little thing, like water brush. And yeah, I'm just doing things like not different, but, you know, a little different. Due to the nature of the watercolor paper, I don't use my fountain pen in here very much. I rely much more on the Furunosuke pens, the Tombow Furunosukes for those black lines. You know, and I have both the soft and the hard tips for variations. The hard tip mostly for like very small details, where the soft tip he's like my wild child, you know. Anyways, yeah, and these are like my mixed media Tombow Furunosukes, because I have another set that's just for writing. So when they start getting frayed in the writing, they get moved over to the mixed media bag. That's just, I guess those are, I guess I go through like a set of those every year. But that's pretty good because, hand lettering has become less and less, but I art with them a lot, so yeah. I'm not storing my empties this year, by the way. I think I should just break that to you guys now. I decided this early on. A bag of garbage sitting around for the whole year was something that, you do once and you're just like, oh my God, I did it. After that, because I don't buy a lot of things and because I don't, I feel like you guys would probably just rather watch me use them. So, yeah, no empties for 2025. You guys enjoy the flip throughs so much more anyways. And this year there are so many journals to get through. The pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. Okay, so let me introduce to you my palette. Nothing here is new. Okay, we had all of this. You can go back and watch old videos, I promise you. It was either my sister or her husband or both of them. Maybe, I think it was him now that I'm saying it out loud. I believe it was him, fellow artist, gifted me the Winsor & Newton palette a long time ago. And like when I first got into watercolor. And then because I had so much of the Wayuu set, and then I started pulling colors out, and then, now I have this weird limited palette. Anyways, I had them in tins always. Tins with structure, made for watercolor pans, and then ones without structure, where they were just flying around because it was a smaller tin and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This is where we are this summer, whatever, fall. I got really tired of the clinking, of opening my box and finding all of my colors upside down, or sometimes like not even in the pan anymore. And then I also wanted to add these 2 gelato colors. And I was just like, you know what? I prefer this plastic one. And even though it's big, if you've ever had like the kid wipes, it's like that size. It just feels, bulky, but at the same time, it feels really like my watercolors just feel safe in there, and it's just a moment where I'm just really happy not to hear them clinking around. And I know I can just literally toss my bag around and not be precious about anything, which is important, because if I don't feel that way, then I won't take it with me. And what's the point of a traveling set if you're not going to take it with you? So, here, though, my palette was so new that I realized that this is great, though, because it shows you that, just because I've chosen colors doesn't mean that I won't realize, hey, I need this other color and this now needs to be over here. It wasn't part of the original, but I'm not above making changes or exceptions or whatever. So yeah, so my palette is a mixture of, the Jane Davenport sets made for Michael, which is also the Wayuu set. It's the exact same thing, made by the same company, just named differently. I've also got some gelato neons in there which we'll talk about someday soon, because I do store my gelatos differently, but I've been hesitant to share how I store them. I didn't want Faber-Castell to be upset with me, but really, who the hell cares? So I think I'll finally show you guys that. Yeah, but all the fun is being had. And, let me know how much you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have ever gone, deep diving into your cultural heritage. I know you do. I know people do. Like, not you, necessarily you, but I know people in general do. Because, there was that great, all those companies doing, the backgrounds and the family trees and all of that. We always want to know where we come from at some point in our lives. No matter how much we understand ourselves, you got to ground yourself in where you come from. It's just today's wisdom. Water brush. Why the water brush? I don't know. Literally, my brushes are like, I'm home. You have access to water. Like, why? It's like a challenge also, though, Like, if my palette is limited, then let's also limit the materials I use. Or is it a revolution in itself to be like, I have all the things, but I'm going to create in the most minimal way? Or you don't need all the things? Yeah. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, and we wanted to use all the things, try all the things in order to know what we were going to like. So I don't judge the journey, because it has led us to this, Cute little pieces in my sketchbook that I'm very proud of. I guess I should offer that if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I love chatting. So I answer each one. And also, if you want to watch or know what I'm doing in real time, then you definitely want to head over to FromAnna.com. And today's video is sponsored by my website, where you can find the links to all of my socials, to my shop, and different offerings. Patreon is a great place to find me in real time. I have a bunch of collections and chats going at the same time, book clubs, self-paced little workshops. So yeah, it's a lot more than just what I show up to do on YouTube. There's a whole background, behind the scenes crew. Yeah, and if not, then you can join for free on Patreon. I am mindful of the free audience, and also Instagram, right? Instagram is a fickle creature. I come and go, not as frequent as I used to, but you can always find me in the DMs if you have questions or requests. I'm always open to suggestions. If you come at me with kindness, I will always listen. I like taking free advice. Is it funny that, or ironic, that painting, drawing straight hair makes me more nervous than when it's, curly or very textured hair? It's, it's just one of those things. Yeah. I definitely end up moving this color over to the palette when I realize, this is a skin tone that I'm going to need frequently. It's also great for, I don't know, it's just like a burnt red, brown, I don't know, whatever it's called. I'm tired. I'm tired because it's super early and I probably should not be doing voiceovers this early in the morning, but you've made it this far. I really, really appreciate you, because even the paints are dry by this point. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and listening to my rambles and possibly, getting inspired by what I'm up to and pursuing your own, educational, whatever it is, journey, whatever you want to learn. Don't let anybody tell you not to. There we go. Do it, Anna. Do it. She doesn't know where to put it, though. Because there's, like, little trays. And I'm missing a couple. I don't know why they do that. But, yeah. Remember when I used to carry that whole thing full of colors? Oh, my God. It feels so overwhelming now. Have you ever seen a lazier mixer? You would think because I'm in a plastic container, I would just do the mixing there, and it's just not something that I like to do. I feel like I'm wasting it somehow. So I come up with these very interesting ways of mixing, either directly on the paper or within the water bubble. I don't know. I caught myself doing it the other day. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's all part of the charm and the quirk. I said this already, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you're still here. I hope you'll join me on the next one. Alrighty, nobody needs to watch me struggle through real-time background, because with the water brush it took forever. However, I will tell you that mixing these colors together gave me all the feels, reminded me of why I love watercolor so much, also gave me hope for the fact that this journal and I can be friends. I am not intimidated or scared of it. the way I used to be, and I feel that now. I definitely allowed imposter syndrome to try to talk me out of buying it, but I'm so glad that the landscape aspect of the sketchbook kept me intrigued enough to take a chance on it, because I think this is turning out to, I say this all the time, but I love them all, but sometimes there are special ones that just stand out. Little splatter. If you know, you know. I love you. Thank you. Bye.